1995, they did the improbable. John Northey took a young Richmond side into the preliminary final. Robert Walls took Brisbane into the finals for the first time ever. Within weeks, they did the unthinkable. John Northey and Robert Walls exchanged jobs. Tonight, for the first time since, they meet head-on. Northey in charge of the rampant Brisbane Bears. Walls returning to the Gabba as coach of the Tigers. It promises to be a fiery reunion for all concerned. Under the Gabba lights, Brisbane at home to Richmond on Saturday Night Football.
Yes, good evening everyone. This has been the most talked about game of the season so far. It's a history-making night here at the Gabba because this is the Bears' 200th AFL game and they're going to do it in front of a new record crowd because the current record of 18,881 set against Collingwood back in 1994 tonight looks certain to be broken.
The AFL Centenary Season, proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors Australia, Qantas, the Australian airline, Foster's Lager, Mobil, Nike and McDonald's.
And I think, Don Scott, as I welcome you, we're looking forward to this game as much as the one we saw last week against the Eagles. It was a ripper.
It was, Sandy, and I've been taught in life, in my so-called 38 years of life, Sandy, that great expectations are always let down, but I really am looking forward to this game. They've got Merritt and Johnson out, but Buse and Chapman are coming in. Very similar lineups, these, the Brisbane side and the Richmond side. They've got three forwards. Brisbane, they've got Lepich, Lynch, and also White, not to mention Champion, who's doing a workman-like job on that forward line. Going to be hard to match up. There's Chris Bond, and he usually has a stopping job. He'll pick somebody up on that Richmond lineup. As I mentioned, very, very similar in as much as they've got three talls down there. Edwards, Richardson, who moves around like White, and also Gale. Their centre midfield's fairly even. They open up the front end of the square. I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, that is excellent. So all out on the ground. The two coaches have swapped camps. We'll take a break and then be back with all the action.
Brisbane Bears going into this game without McLean, McRae and Merritt, but they're still a very, very good outfit. Likewise, Richmond without a couple of key players, Matthew Knights, Tony Free, Turner and Wigney, but they are going to be a formidable opposition here tonight. Time to welcome a couple of legends on the boundary line, and here's Dipper with a special introduction.
Thanks very much, Andy. Well, I am with the Emperor of Lang Park, the Prince of Brisbane. Of course, we're talking about fellow commentator Wally Lewis. Wally, welcome to the Gabba.
Yeah, nice to be here.
And Brisbane are moving quite nicely at the moment.
Yeah, they've got an enormous amount of confidence on board. Of course, that win in Perth last week has added to them. It might be a little bit tough without Roger, but when you've got Alistair Lynch back on board, I'm sure the guys are going to show a hell of a lot of confidence in their play.
You've been a Brisbane night up here. I mean, it's great to see the crowd come to the games.
Well, in one way it is. They're not going to the rugby league, which is a little bit tough, but well, they're going to follow a confident team around, and if they're supporting a team that's winning, it'll be a great game, I'm sure.
Now, your pick tonight?
I'm going to stick with the Bears. Yeah, they had a big win here last year.
Now, Wally's going to join me on the boundary line tonight, Sandy. Hopefully by the end of the night he might crown me, I don't know, the Prince of the Gabba.
You're looking ahead. Just settle down, Dipper, but it's great to have you on board, Wally. No doubt Robert Walls knows the Bears. He had them for 109 matches. John Northey had the Tigers for 67. So the knowledge of the opposition will be great.